All right, family, let us know if you can hear us okay and see us okay. Sorry about the delay. Um, Literally, I just used the software in this camera just not even like 3 days ago to do an orientation and everything was working good. And then all of a sudden, when we were supposed to be going live, it went wackadoo on us. So we're here, and that's really all that matters. And you guys are here. So let us know if you can hear us okay. Melanie says, give it a like, guys. If it's worth your time to watch, it's worth an easy thumbs up. I like that saying. That's true. Hey, family, I'm TJ Jamie. This is
It's
Super
all about
Larry.
me. How's it going? How's it going, people? How you doing?
Oh,
How
good. So
you
you're,
doing?
so you're staying around to get beat up?
No.
Dang. Okay. And this is Super Fu, and we are Enter Shaolin slash Enter Tai Chi. So welcome to our Kung Fu Q&A. It's gonna only be 30 minutes, guys and gals. So make sure you drop your comments, questions, all that good stuff in the chat if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to Paul, who is on. He says amazing pics. Some of those, well, I don't know about that particular video because I don't know which one was up. Some of our videos with our music on it, especially some of our newer stuff, is featuring actually our sister who's on right now, Melanie Wright's work. But those ones we mark and give credit to her and send you to her website. So we put that, and I think on the video too. So I don't know if that was one of them or not. But if not, then one of those was either curated by myself or Super Larry. So glad you like the visuals and all that good stuff. Shalom is on. We got Dan on. Richard and Melanie and John. And maybe some other people will pop on. I had Super Larry send out a quick email, so hopefully some more people will roll in for the next couple minutes and all that good stuff. So Shalom has a question. Says Shalom, guys, Sifu, can you demonstrate how to intercept kicks with your legs like you do in Wing Chun? Is it effective or better to check it like in MMA?
Um, I don't know of any MMA guys who check the leg kicks, especially the roundhouse. They take it or they move away from it. So there's no, they don't really that I've seen. I'll just say that I haven't seen MMA anybody who does a hard round kick that they are countering. They either step away from it or they actually take the shot. And, it can wear down. So you don't really want to do that. There are several ways you can deal with kicks. Now you didn't specify what kick, so I'm just going to use a round kick because that is probably the most common type of kick in MMA that they do. Front kick is there, but not as common. Most common is the roundhouse kick to the thigh. That's really what a lot of people do in MMA more than anything else. So I'll just use that as our means of learning how to intercept the round kick. Just know this: anytime you do any type of leg training for interception, you require a lot of training to get the proper technique, get the proper response, and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you an easy way of doing the interception or a roundhouse kick. And actually, I did see somebody in MMA do that, and he broke the guy's shin bone.
Breaking my shin bone.
So
I'm not doing it.
it is just don't kick hard.
Yeah.
But this is a very, if someone's kicking you in the thigh, right, don't kick hard. But a lot of times you could just bring your knee up, straight up into their leg. So if they're going like this, you just bring that leg up and just let them hit along this area, and their shin bone hits it. And generally, if they're kicking hard, it will break the bone. It happens several times. There are some instances where, I don't know, you can probably see it on YouTube, but where people do a roundhouse kick and the guy would actually just bring his knee up like this and just jam that into them. And when they hit, they break the shin. I've seen it a couple times where they actually intercept that way, where they'll just bring the knee up and just bang and let the guy round kick right into that knee. This is a very hard structure when you bend it anywhere from here to here. That's very solid. It's very hard to break that. It's like trying to break someone's forearm right here. Easy to break up here, but not so easy when it's close to the joint. So that's the same when you're doing it. You want to bring your knee in. You want to jam your hip forward a little bit like that, and you just go right into it. They'll snap their shin. And like I said, I have seen them do that. I've seen it in kickboxing where they actually, somebody was kicking the thigh, the guy would actually just go like this, and when that happened, the guy, you could see him land and see his leg fold in half, they drop, and that's the end of the fight. So that's one way. If you ask about how Wing Chun would do it, again, there's a certain distance. If I was this close, I wouldn't do that. I would just probably, if I saw him around, I would just go for the body kick right away. I would just go for the kick. But I'm from far away and I got the distance, I would chamber up and bring my foot out that way. Okay, so this is another way of doing it for the Wing Chun world. You want to bring your feet in real close to the body, and then you just point your toe towards your shin and let your heel come forward. So when he's trying to kick your leg, you see how I just bring it out? I just come up and I draw the heel forward by pulling the toes into my shin, and then that's an impact on that too. Those are things that requires timing, it requires control, and it requires practice. Just like a hook punch. You know, just like you have to learn to intercept with this one too. When we're doing any kind of kick, you just bring it up like that. And I don't throw my weight into it. I actually try to sink down into it so I get the submost connection in the ground so I can put the energy into the heel to the middle foot that way. I don't ever do this and go like this, but that'll throw my weight. Plus, I can actually overshoot. So it's the same thing as like someone's throwing a hook punch. I don't do this because I can overshoot the point. I actually want to time it. So when he's coming in, I just bring it and let him come to me, and I just time that hit on the point when we make contact. So that's one of the ways that you can do that.
So distance is important. You have to know
Yeah. You have to know your distance, like anything. I can't stand this close to him and try to do a tight hook punch, and it won't work. At this range here, why am I blocking? Why aren't I striking at that range? If I'm within striking range, why am I not creating the strike out of it? Why am I going to be standing this close to the guy and then punching him? If I'm within range, I should be putting my hands out. So
What about if I'm this close?
I would already bring my foot out towards you with my range.
Yeah.
So you have to know your range. This is you have to know your body structure and know how much you can get your foot out, your hands out, know how much distance it is for him to close it. Like, so if he was like 6 foot, 7 foot tall, obviously he's going to keep me at bay by keeping the distance and using his length to try and strike me. And that's where you can take your advantage. If he's very long limb, just keep the distance, make him reach, and then just keep him tight and let him extend. Because he's going to try and keep his body away. He's going to keep his face away, he's going to keep his body away, so I can't ever hit him. And then you keep the distance and you stay in tight and you move all the way like that. So if I'm this way and I see a round kick, I might be able to go like this and go into his knee and thigh too. So again, but that requires accuracy, that requires control. You can't get emotional and start throwing your body, because that's your high chance of missing. Me, I stay in my root and I project into anything I have into that target. So I just boom, and I bring it up. And I usually will bring my heel up towards where my thigh is, because that's where he's trying to kick. He's trying to kick around the thigh area right there, right? So if he's going to kick around this area, I want to guard this part right here, this area. So I just want to bring my foot up to protect that point, and then normally it'll hit that way. So hopefully that answered your questions, or question, I should say, not questions.
Thank
Question.
you, Claire. All right. Move this back up. Get us situated. Sorry about that. I was trying to give you guys more of a view of the Sifus. All right, so let's see. Paul says, can you guys please show me some Wing Chun practice moves?
Okay.
Or I'm guessing some just basic ones.
One of the most basic things about Wing Chun is about the center line. So I'm gonna just use that. I'm gonna just use the straight line. So the most basic thing I would tell anyone to learn to do is learn how to hit. Because it doesn't matter if you can block them well. If you can't do enough damage on the strike, it doesn't mean anything. So one of the most fundamental, easy thing I could tell you is, let's say she wants to attack me, right? And I'm going to use my hands. If I had distance, I would use my legs first. If I'm far away and she come at me, I'd raise my hands and bring up everything forward and to the leg. I'm just using hands for now, okay? So I'm just going to use my hands. So one of the easiest things, in any form of attack, when you're here and someone's just throw a hip turn, thin yourself out, and go straight in for the straight line and get that right to the face. One of the most practical, easiest way, if someone's throwing their body weight coming at you, don't like punch me and do that. Like, try to move away. You're better off when they're coming at you, just thin it out and turn it in and get your guard and get that punch in. This will give you the maximum range and length. It gives you also the maximum torque and your power and structure, and it gives you a very accurate hit on their face, their throat, depending on the height of the person. So it gives you the best way to create an attack. If you want to do an interception, here's the easiest way. On a straight line punch, don't punch hard. Okay. Just use your wrist, and I'm going to keep it light, but you just bang your arm right into them and use it as a ricochet to go right in.
It's
So
like twisting.
I use my wrist. I torque
in.
my wrist into it with my base. So I don't want to give the full detail. If you're doing Chun, you should understand that. But when someone's coming at you, just move in. See, I just hit the arm and go right in. Again, I don't try to hit her arms out. I hit her arm so I can clear the way so I can go in. So in your mind, do never, ever try to get the hands away. I tell my students all the time, your objective is never to get the hands out. It's always to get your hands in. So I'm not here to try and move her arms away from me, okay? My job is to intercept, as she punches, is to move into her all the time. And see, I have my guard up that way too. So when I'm, now I can just go right for the straight. That's one of the most basic fundamental Wing Chun movements that you can do. If they're throwing a punch, like I said, you just bring your hands up, 1, 2, 3, and I just go right in for the strike. That's the Wing Chun Lin Wang Quan, the chain punches. So that's one of the most basic, easiest thing you can do. Keep your hands up, get the elbows in front of you, and use your wrists and your arms like this. Like this is the most you want. Don't do this. That doesn't work. It'll fail you every time against a strong punch. You have to make it parallel. You have to look like you're moving your elbow with your wrist, not just your wrist alone.
All right, there's some good basic things for you to focus on. We have Wing Chun, from Silam Tao all the way through Bilji, Chum Kyul, and we have the 12 sets on the site and a bunch of different sensitivity and application drills in regards to that, as well as solo training and a whole lot more. Tai Chi, Qigong, China, grappling, anti-grappling, all the good stuff, and then some, plus of course, Nodak Na, which we infuse in everything we do. Sometimes people get confused. They're like, oh, well, when I come, can I learn, Wing Chun with Nodak Na? If you're coming to learn anything from us, whether online or in person, it's always going to include Nodak Na. As a matter of fact, we're going to tell you this, which is take these principles and apply them to your day-to-day life, because it's literally just teaching you how to move your body more efficiently, more effectively, without wear and tear and strain on your body. So just use it all the time, and then it'll become second nature to you. And if you have no idea what Nodak Na is, then definitely go check out our site, go get our freebie, our ebook, go to entershaolin.com/gift and go get signed up to the intro course. You won't regret it. Or if you're not a member yet, go to entershaolin.com/join. You still have a little bit of time to do that and get access to the full training hall before we block that out to the public. And then only the members that are in there will be able to have access to that. We will open up that course a couple times a year to get access to all of our courses again, but it's going to be for a whole lot more than what's currently on that join page. So do yourself a favor and just go take care of that now. Don't wait. Don't put off today what you could, or don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes. John says, I got yelled at for blocking with my knee up, foot down. They don't do it very many times after that, like talking about like for the kick and stuff. And it's true. Do that a couple times, people don't like it. They don't like it at all. Hey, Ralph, how are you? Here it's technically evening, but good afternoon to you as well. And I don't know about you guys that are in the United States that are in areas that do, sadly, the daylight saving time. It took me by surprise. I was like, woke up to my alarm and I'm like, wait a second, why does my phone say something different than my alarm clock? I didn't realize it was yet. I don't know why. I thought I had a couple more weeks, but I was wrong. So one good thing about it is though the sun is out later. So I'm happy about that part. All right, fam. What other questions do you have, family? We still have about like 12 minutes, so we can answer a couple more questions for you guys and gals. Let us know, let us know. Sifu, is there anything that you've been working on with your peeps this week that you want to share? Anything that you want to give some
Lesson wise?
tips? Some tips.
Okay.
While we're waiting for some more questions.
Well, okay. So I'll give a tip about what you want to learn to do. I know I say this all the time, but for those who have not heard, I'm going to just repeat it. One of the things that when you're training is you have to change your mental state and how you move. So start thinking of how you can intercept to attack, not intercept to block, to defend. It makes a huge difference when you think of defending. You think of stopping it from coming into you or getting away from it. When you think of attacking, you learn how to put the energy into it rather than trying to stop it. So start thinking that way, and then let your arms behave that way. We don't do self-defense techniques because again, that puts you in the mindset you're the victim, you're not attacking. So all your movements, okay, ask yourself one of these two questions. And if it doesn't answer yes to these two questions, then it's wrong. One, do you have the intent to hit in what you're doing in that moment? If you don't have the intent to create the strike, then throw that technique out the window. It's never going to work in real life. Second, can you do it in half a second or less? If it takes you 10 seconds to do something, the guy's gonna hit you at least 100 times before that happens. So all movements has to be with the intent to create the hit and do it in half a second or less. Any technique that you do in terms of striking, not grappling. This is not a grappling type of rule. It's for striking. If you can't do it in half a second or less, and you don't have the intent to hit, and generally if you don't have the intent to hit, you're going to take longer than half a second. So any technique you practice, I don't care what discipline you are, what style it is, when it comes to striking, always ask yourself, if you're wondering, would this really work in real life? Ask yourself those two questions. Do I have the intent to hit in this move? And am I able to do it in half a second or less? If the answer is no, then throw it out. If it's yes, then it's fine. You can make it work. Okay. And what I mean by that is, let's say she throws a straight punch. I'll just use straight punch because it's simple. When I do this, do I look like I have the intent to hit with that movement? No, it looks like I have the intent to block. So I would throw it out the window. And obviously, look, if I do it like this and she punches me, I go. I go again. Does that look like after a second? So this is again, that works anytime. Right? I go like this. So if I'm going like this, do I look like the intent to hit or look like the intent to block? She does it again. Do I look like the intent to hit or look like the intent to see it? She does it again. Do I look like I have the intent to hit? Look right here. Do I look like the intent to hit? So don't my right. Okay, so she punches, I do this. See right there. See how I look like I went for the hit with the hit versus she does it again. So I look like I want to hit or look like I'm trying to get rid of the ball. So any practice techniques that you do, ask yourself this question: is it viable? I'm not saying the technique won't work. You might have to refine the technique because you have to bring it to the intent to hit. But if it's going to take you longer, half a second to do a move, or you don't have the intent to throw an attack in that movement, throw it out the window. Throw it down.
I did.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she attacked me.
Sorry.
Violence. But yeah. So always ask yourself that question for any technique you do when it comes to striking. If it falls along the line of yes, all you have to do is refine the movement better in terms of your technique and how to move more efficient. If it doesn't, if it's like, yeah, this looks like, for example, here's a longer than half a second type of movement.
Okay.
She throws a straight punch. Like that type of stuff like that, throw it out the window. It's never going to work. No one's going to stand there and leave their hands there for you. Okay.
We do have a couple questions too.
Okay. You have to make the attack in that movement and you have to have it do it in half a second less for it to be effective because no one's going to leave their hands out there longer than that. Unless they're paid to for a movie.
So there's
movie.
some good little tips for y'all. Baki had a question, but first I'm gonna see what Ralph said. Ralph said, seafood, there's no blocking in your system, so practice allow continuous muscle memory.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you want to practice right, you want to practice good and do all the right things. And yes, no blocking, counter
Okay.
offense.
Blocking can always be replaced with striking. Just
Yeah.
remember that.
Strike it, don't block it. Maki says, can Tai Chi healing and benefits be explained purely scientifically without spirits, chi, etc.? I know it works, but how? Yes, there's plenty of papers that have talked about it. The meridian lines are something that is proven. So you can find different articles and scientific papers in regards to that. Also, a lot of people try to mystify chi. Chi just means breath, energy, electricity,
air.
wind, air. So it's all of the above. So if your blood's not flowing, you're dead. If you don't have breath, you're dead. If you don't have electricity, energy going through your body, which you should know that you have electricity in your body, guess what? You're dead. So all these things, it's the people that mysticize it. It just, God breathed life into Adam. In Hebrew, it's ruach. In Arabic, it's ruah, but it also means wind, breath, all these different things. It's all the same thing. If you don't have energy, you're dead. If you see someone with really low energy, they're really sick, it's because they don't have much chi, aka energy. It's not mystical at all.
Okay. So let's I'll break down the science behind why Tai Chi is beneficial. One, you're not supposed to, honestly, you're not supposed to put stress along the body.
If you're doing it
So
right.
the body, right. That's
No
what I said.
stress.
Yeah. So you don't want to strain the body. Okay. It's okay for the body to be under stress. It actually can't function without stress. It's just you can't strain the body under that. So that's one. So Tai Chi is about relaxing the body so you're not creating strain on the body. You're always allowed, you're always fighting stress because gravity's pulling down, you're standing up, there's stress on your body. It's just your body can take it. It's like a springboard that can hold 100 pounds of pressure. If 30 pounds rolls over, it's not going to do any stress on the board because it's very little, right? It's always under stress, but it's not enough to make it have to release. So your body's always under stress, but it's okay. It is designed to be under stress. Without the stress, you actually would die. If people are in outer space, if they don't stress their body doing a certain regimen of workout to put the body under stress every day, actually the heart would die. It
Yeah.
has to be under the pressure in order to actually exist. So your body has to have stress in your life, but it just can't strain. Okay, so that's one. So relaxing the body basically allows more blood flow. When you're tense, you don't allow blood flow to go through your body as easily. Okay, that's one. Two, Tai Chi does natural structure, so it optimizes your body's ability to create good breath and good circulation in the body. For example, slouching like this stresses the body. Your muscles are stretched out and compressed here, so it's hard for you to breathe when you're like this. It's not very, very noticeable. Like I said, doing this like this is not noticeable. Like let's just say this: a guy who's like this, proper structure this way versus this way, that guy at the end of the day has less energy because he's got to strain more to breathe. Okay, this is how people die in crucifixion. They actually suffocate to death because their body's hunched over. It's hard. The lungs collapse. All the stress goes in the lungs. It's hard for you to breathe. So you want to do it this way. That's why we have proper structure. Two, three, I should say. We relax. Two, proper structure allows better blood flow. Better blood flow allows your body to heal quicker. You can't heal without blood. Okay, life is in the blood. The Bible says it that way. And with, you know, without blood, it's the means of delivering oxygen and nutrients to your tissues. It is what gives you life in there. When the moment of conception, you know, when the cells are, you see a blood vessel. It's blood. It's the first thing that actually is formed that brings life. Once the conception, it's the first biological thing you see. A little blood flow cells flowing. So without blood flowing in the body properly, you can't heal right. Okay. Three, it's also mental for you because we have to learn to relax the mind, empty the mind, and learn how to get the mind to work with the body as one. So it connects our mind, body, and spirit together. So that's the benefit of it too. Four, like I said, when we allow the blood flow, we can direct that blood through the hands or feet. We allow the body to open up more so that way more blood can flow into the tissues that way. So these are all the scientific reasons why Tai Chi is good for you. It takes away the stress. You properly align your body to actually optimize your abilities to move, to be able to breathe, for your energy flow. You learn how to relax and take the stress off the mind, the body, and then the spirit as well. So all those things are very beneficial to you. You've seen yoga. It's a form of relaxing and stretching, right? It's another health benefit thing that you can do. It's very good for you. So all these things that we can do that is on the relaxing side. Okay. Can you work out, stress hard? Yeah, absolutely you can, because that's the external side of getting healthier. That's working the muscles out. And by the way, for you to get healthier, when you're working out your muscles, you're actually tearing down the muscles. Lifting weights is what they call controlled trauma. You're actually traumatizing your body. You're actually damaging your body in a healthy way so it can build back stronger. Whenever you're lifting weights, you are tearing the muscles fibers apart. That's you're causing it to tear when you're lifting heavy weights in your repetition. Then they mend in the cells like this is your cells right now. You tear it apart like this, like and then the cells will basically merge, and so you have a thicker muscle tissue. You get more cells laying on top of it. That's why your muscles grow, and so every time you tear, you're developing more thick muscles, and so now it can hold more blood, and now you can pump harder. You have more tissues to contract better. So that's an external way of doing it too. Building healthy body. Again, you can be healthy outside, but eat hozels and Twinkies, and that's not going to be good for you inside. So there's a balance between what's good outside and inside. The good thing about Tai Chi is it is an external system with internal. You are stressing the body, moving slow like this. If you were to hold your hand out like this for an hour, you're like, oh my gosh, I never realized how heavy my arm is. But in Tai Chi, you do it slow because you are being in absolute control of the muscles in every movement you make. So you are actually putting your body under the control to your will that way, if you're doing it right. I'm going to emphasize if you do it right. So I've seen people do it wrong. That would be wrong. But if you do it right, where you can connect and time it, you are creating a synergized movement between your legs
balance,
into your
yeah.
hands, and you learn how to deliver the energy from the legs to your hands in that movement where there's not one part is behind or ahead. So you're not, or you are connected and you will learn how to move in unison
Yeah.
in your body. So those are the reasons why it's a lot healthy for you to do Tai Chi. And I'm not saying Tai Chi is the only source that's healthy for you. Yoga is another very good. I'm sure there's a lot of other types. I think in Indonesia, they have a form of Tai Chi. It's not popularly known as Tai Chi, but it does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a relaxation of the body, creating movements like this. Qigong is another part.
Yeah.
Like it's not Tai Chi. Qigong is different from
Yeah.
Tai Chi. They're in unison with them, with it. Like fruits and vegetables, they're plants, stuff like that. It's of the same family tree, but it's not the same thing. One's repetitive, the other's dynamic.
Yeah.
But they have the same purpose of one's to build energy, with the other one's to cycle energy. So they work in the same way, like lifting weights and aerobics.
Yeah.
Both are good.
Yeah, you want to have
that way.
both, the balance, yeah.
So Tai Chi, like I say, is not the only way, but it is a very good way. I'm not
Very,
saying
very
if you
good
don't
way.
do Tai Chi
But
or
they
you do
make
Tai Chi
sense.
alone and you just do Tai Chi alone, you're not going to get full the benefit. No, you will get the full benefit because it is an external internal style as well. And especially the way we do it, we are about getting the energy from the ground to the hands
Yeah.
and learn how to connect the body's energy. So yeah, the way we do is, I won't speak for anybody else in terms of their Tai Chi, but for us, yeah, it's absolutely great.
And just like with yoga and qigong, you're learning how to properly breathe, which is going to help with all kinds of things that you probably didn't even notice that you were doing wrong because you weren't even breathing right the whole time. Proper breath is so important for your energy, your mental clarity, and just your overall health. Getting oxygen to the blood, into the brain, into all your organs helps them to work better. So that's another added benefit. So yeah, you don't have to do the woo-woo hocus pocus stuff. When you break down Tai Chi into its simplicity, it's pretty easy to understand and it's pretty easy to see why it works. So yeah, we definitely recommend it. We love Tai Chi and Qigong. Exactly, Dan. Qi is just your life force energy. If you don't have enough Qi, you're going to be sick. You're going to be probably depressed. You're going to be just, maybe can't sleep enough, that kind of stuff. So it's all about just getting more energy. Yeah. Get rid of the woo. We don't need none of that. None of that. But Bonnie says, glad to hear you're all Christians. Yes, we're all born again Christians. That is how we actually started Enter Shaolin, was through something the Holy Spirit showed me. And then I had to get very persistent and had to move states to be able to make it happen. It took, I think, almost 5 years before we launched and stuff. But that's why we're here. That's why we're all together, because of the Most High and our Lord and Savior, Yeshua,
Amen.
Jesus Christ. Amen for that.
All
right.
HaMashiach.
Yes. Even says, hello, is it possible to master the Nidagna system through the internet? I would not say fully through the internet alone. We have this saying that 2/3 of your training could be done online, but that third sensitivity with other people and stuff like that, specifically coming here or coming to a seminar, when we can have seminars again, but if you can come here to do some extra training, like we have a member coming from St. Augustine, Florida, that's going to come do some training with us this upcoming week. If you can get out here and touch hands, some of our members have been to our seminars or have come to do private lessons that are currently on here. They can testify to it. Being able to feel exactly how it's supposed to feel like will help you tenfold. But there's a lot that we can do to help make corrections and do live critiques and different things like that via the online part. It's just that eventually you're going to want to come here and touch it. So can you fully master it online? I would say at least 75 to 80%. There's still about 20% you need to come and do some training, even if it's just a couple times a year.
I'll say you can fully master
The principles.
the understanding of it,
Yeah.
the principles of it, but the practice of it is another story.
Yeah.
Again, you really want to be able to feel the energy. Now, can you do it on your own if you're have a past experience, properly trained, and have
Oh, yeah,
understanding of it? Yeah, you can develop that. Yeah, I learned to do it, by practicing. It wasn't like given to me from a computer chip. They put it in my brain. I got it. I had to discipline myself, take what I learned and practice it and put myself through that. And I developed that. So can you do it? Absolutely. But you do need to have people with energy experience to help you start off. So you have a pathway you can go to in terms of the understanding the energy and everything. You can do that online. Get the concept is easy.
Yeah.
It's like juggling.
Yeah, there's so much
Throw
you
one
can
ball in
learn
the air,
online, so
maintain the
don't-
other
don't
two.
stress
So throw
about
one
it.
ball in air, throw two. But the question is how much energy, how little energy, what direction you can throw. Those all makes the difference. And so I would definitely say you can absolutely learn the end system in terms of the system itself, but the practice itself, you do need practice. So you can understand that you gotta get hands. Anyone can read a book on how to drive. You can read it 20,000 times a day, and I know all it is to know about driving. But getting behind the wheel and feeling the energy and know how to control that, that's harder. But
Yeah,
I'll say this: anyone who has understanding how to do that will have a much greater ability to grow and master it than someone who doesn't know anything at all.
absolutely, absolutely. And hey, Caesar, thank you so much for the super chat, love. Darren, I knew that was, look, I didn't even know it was daylight savings time until I looked at my clock on my phone versus my alarm clock and was like, huh, why is it messed up? And then I said, oh, it's already that time of year. Apparently so. So, hey, you're here. We're also about to be wrapping up here and jumping over to the Zoom, which Caesar, I hope you can join us because I know you're a member and you've been in the VIP, and I'm going to answer your question there just because literally we have a minute to do that. And I want to, you gave us some super chat love. So I want to make sure that we have enough time to honor your questions. So hopefully you can join us on the Zoom member only webinar because we will definitely cover that there. I went ahead and copied and pasted it.
Are you
too.
able to join the Zoom? If yes, put yes, we'll answer. If you can't, then we'll just answer it here, because if he can't
Okay.
join it,
That's fair.
that's fair, because
Well, I mean, he could catch the replay.
he should have to be paid.
know.
Don't it?
I
So are you able to make
I'm
this
just
Zoom one?
worried about we're already,
I'll answer it quick. Well, I'll
All right,
answer.
so let me go ahead and read what he said. He says, hi, family. Happy to be here today. Here one more time from Tijuana, Mexico. I've been practicing the VIP and I love it. The Hun style drill. Please explain application and solo practices. I know it's very important movement in Silam Tao.
Okay, so he said yes, he'll be in the Zoom meeting, so yeah, we can answer it for him.
Okay, cool. We'll answer it there, and we'll also pull up the video for our members just to reference. We'll do like a little quick view. So those of you that have VIP will get a sneak peek in that as well. Darren, hope you can join us on that. Melanie and there's Ralph too, and a couple other people. All right, fam. So members, we're gonna hop on to the Zoom member session and meet y'all over there. Everyone else, we love you all. If you're new here, go to entershaolin.com/gift and get that downloaded before we take that freebie away and get the intro course, or just go sign up and get access to everything. entershaolin.com/join. Members, fam, see y'all in a little bit. Everyone else, God bless, peace, and we'll see you next.